shark feast going on in Predator Bay. Same old, right? Well, actually not. Predator Bay has gone through a rescape. There we go, that's the final product. Now let's check out how we got here. All right, it is finally time for the big marine system update. We got a rescape of Predator Bay, a rescape of the 265, a lot of things for the 265 going to other places, going into Predator Bay, going into the reef slope. Lots going on. You know, when you got the trash can on wheels and you got the wall opened up and you got the big 6-foot ladder, big things are happening in the fish basement. Let me show you what the plan is and what we're gonna be doing here. Okay, let's start with Predator Bay. So why are we changing anything around here? Well, because when I first set up Predator Bay, this little 3.5 foot long shark right here, he was only like 8 inches or something, you know. So he's grown a lot, and he's not the only one. We've got these other sharks over here. You know, they don't even fit in the caves anymore. We got a face sticking out the front, we got tail sticking out the back, and the reality of it is the sharks are not happy with the Aquascape because all the passageways that were great when they were younger, they're not so great now that they've gotten bigger, and they've taken upon themselves to pretty much knock over all the rocks and try to change things around themselves. And you know, as much as I appreciate their help, they pretty much just made a mess of the scape. They just collapsed that whole side. I don't know if you ever kept sharks and groupers, but they like to dig. They all like to dig, you know. So they messed up the scape, they messed up the eel's habitat, and as you can see, the big guy, again, he wants to sit in the cave during the day and rest, but he's got his face sticking out the front and his tail sticking out the back. And the other problem we have is the grouper. So the new peacock or blue dot grouper, he's been getting the business pretty good from the Minneatus and the blue line. So what I want to do is fix up the scape to make it better for these situations. So we're going to make some bigger caves, and we're going to cover up some big areas for the sharks, and then we're going to build the Aquascape up to create some sight breaks for the groupers, so that the peacock doesn't have to live up in the left corner all the time, except for coming out for food. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. So to get that done, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove a bunch of rock from the 265 in wall. As you can see, everyone's kind of hiding, but what's gonna happen is we have some really big rocks over here. So this is, you know, a big long rock. These are huge rocks down here. So pretty much this whole right side is a lot of really large rocks. So we're going to take them out of here. We're going to relocate them to the 265, as well as we are going to take the Indian black triggerfish, and we're going to move him also over to Predator Bay. So he started off, he was fine, but as he's gotten bigger, he kind of bullies the tank. So we're gonna basically relocate him and the emperor angel that's in here, as well as a few of the other fish. So we're gonna leave a few fish, but we're gonna take a lot of them out. So anyway, the Indian black trigger is going in Predator Bay, and I've been testing him. So I've been testing the Indian black trigger to see how he does with the kind of food I feed to Predator Bay, and it's actually working out great. I was a little concerned that as a trigger, he'd create a lot of little bits and pieces as he chewed the food, kind of like what Oscars do to pellets. But fortunately, that's not what happened. He does a good job of pretty much sucking it in and sort of chewing it as he's sucking in. He doesn't like leave a bunch spitting out, you know, like again, like cichlids and things like that do. So, and he loves everything I feed Predator Bay. In fact, he was too big for the frozen foods and everything I was feeding the tank, and he was eating so much of it and starting to bully everybody else, because even though he's really fat, apparently he felt like he wouldn't get enough food, and he's becoming a bit of a bully. So I think that's going to work out well to get him in Predator Bay, because the concern was I can't have a cleaning crew in Predator Bay because all the sharks are raised. They're going to eat crabs and snails and things like that. So I want to make sure it wouldn't throw off the balance of the tank. Now for the emperor angel and the blue-green chromis and a few of the other fish, they're going to go into the reef slope here. So we're going to, where they're going to fit in just fine. There's a lot of large angels and there's a lot of room in there. So it's going to be better for those guys. They get more room, and they're going to open up the 265 for whatever I want to do. So probably leaning towards actually making it a coral tank. So the only thing left in there will be a couple tangs and some Ocellaris clowns. So things that aren't going to bother any corals at all. So we're going to get the tank all set up so that it's ready to receive corals if we want to do that. And if I do change my mind, I can always take the other community fish that are there and put them in the 600 if I decide to go a whole different direction. But so far, I think corals makes the most sense. So we're going to make that tank all set up and ready to go with that plan, at least for now. Okay, so first things first, I need to take some of the water out of Predator Bay and drain it in the trash can and pump it outside, because I'm going to be adding a lot of rock to this tank and it's going to displace some of that water. And I have the filtration set up, at the water level I want, so I can't just put in a bunch more rock and raise that up. I mean, it could overflow, or it'll set it to a level I don't want. Because keeping in mind, this is salt water, so it's important with the levels that I just top off. So if I just displace a bunch of water, I have to make sure that I have the filtration at the right level, so that when I go to top off, I'm not, diluting the water. So at any rate, I'll go ahead and get some water out. These guys are well fed last night, so I was trying to make them nice and lethargic for today so they'd stay out of my way so I could work in here. But yeah, we'll take the water out, and then we'll get to moving some rock out of the 265. Whew. There's half of the 265 emptied out, and I think this might turn into a two-part video. It's because I'm thinking of how am I going to catch those fish. There's probably like 30 fish in there right now, but you wouldn't believe it by looking at that now, would you? So I'm thinking to get in there and get all these guys and get everybody moved around, I'm gonna have to probably gonna have to decimate that scape, move everything. It's gonna be a chore. So let me show you what I took out. All right, so here is big container full of rock. Hopefully it is similar to the amount of water that I took out, so that it'll be relatively balanced. Either way, if I top off with fresh, I'll top off with fresh. If I need to make up some salt, I'll do that. But the way it works now is I take all this and I get it positioned up on top. I'll put a board up here and a towel, just like when I did the scape at the very beginning. And as you can see, it is a monster. So I have to climb inside. So I have some tongs, but they always break. I've never found a pair of tongs that, I'm talking the big tongs, where the grabber is, bigger than a hand, like, stuff that they can pick up these big rocks. They never last. They're all crap. Everyone I've tried. So they always, the mechanism always breaks and it loses its grabbing power. So at any rate, yeah, trying to get the bathing suit on and jump inside. Literally take a dive into Predator Bay this time. Okay, still a work in progress. Definitely we are a lot taller, so we're definitely achieving the sight brace, the line of sight for the groupers for sure. We have a nice huge cave there. I can see the horn shark's already tucked himself in there. We got a big grouper in there as well. The eel is definitely loving it. There is way more territory for the eel now. He's gone all in everywhere, and actually he's over here, and he's usually never over here, so that's a positive. This side, the right side, isn't built up as much as I want yet, so I'm gonna have to go grab some more rock. I got a bunch of big rock on the left side, so I'll grab that. And I want to build up the sides here much taller, so it's sort of, even though there won't be like a roof, a cave, like a roof to a cave, it'll be kind of create a big darker area that they like. They don't necessarily have to be, in a tunnel-like cave, but they like a nice area where they can tuck in there. And let's wrap around the other side here. Still a work in progress with the ladder and everything, but oh yeah, there's the eel. So he's found another spot, and like you said, he's never over here. So this is a big win for him to increase his territory. And you can see over on this side, we've got a nice cave here, a big open area though. So that should help. And I'll probably, I don't know if there's, I don't want it too tight, because 3-foot shark, if you box them in, they're just gonna push things around, knock it down. So gotta keep that in mind. So I don't want these corners to be, tight. I like the sharks like to swim sort of the whole perimeter of the tank. So probably leave this back area how it is and just work on building up that front side. And this is over on the other back side. This is the area where they had dug out and undermined all of that structure. Looks like Yeah, I don't think that piece right there is actually touching, so I'm gonna pull that piece out and probably just put it up over here. That'll create a nice big opening there and allow me to push that sand back in there. Well, actually there's a grouper pushing sand out right now, but yeah. All right, so yeah, the backside over here. So I think this will be kind of, this backside will be less, I mean, it's built up more on the other side, and we'll clear up this big alleyway here, so that's good for all the fish swimming and everything. Still plenty of territory there for the groupers. The big grouper likes to go in there, and the miniatus over here, blue line over there. So we'll take that side there and we'll bring it out a little more, and we'll build it up a little more on that side, and that will probably do it. I've always kind of liked this side over here, never had a problem with that. And like I said, I want to have some big, large open areas just in certain spots, as well as the perimeter. So yeah, and while I had the tops off, went ahead and busted out the power washer, got those all clean. So Predator Bay will look nice when it is done, as far as the light coming through. But yeah, so far so good. Let me jump over here in the 265 and take some more rock out, because quite honestly, I think to get the fish, catch the fish, I'm gonna have to probably take out the majority of the rock anyway, so not fun. Looking forward though to getting this guy over into Predator Bay, see what he thinks of his new home. All right, as you can see, the 265 looks a little bit different. It's not everything was done here. I did move the rock that I want to move over, but I can't catch any of the fish until I take all that rock out. And it's been a marathon already, so I decided originally this was going to be a giant marine video where I touch all the different tanks, but it's going to turn into just a Predator Bay video, because it's just too much work all at one time. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, all that matters is the fish anyways. I mean, who cares what video it's in, so it'll just be 2 marine videos. So at any rate, let's go take a look at what I got done with Predator Bay. Okay, I think really the biggest theme is everything is much taller, which is giving me that that line of sight break. Before, my groupers, they could just see the entire length of the tank. So if we come over to the end here, you know, they could just see all 13.5 feet down the tank. But now you got some nice chunky sight breaks in there. This should hopefully give the new guy a reprieve from these guys bullying them. And you can see lots of nice caves for the groupers. So already the groupers are loving that big vertical cave there. As you can see the sharks and the ray and everything. Another grouper over here. So yeah, they're definitely all settling in. The eel moved himself over here, and then now we have another large cluster. Oh, popping his head out to say hello. Another large cluster of rocks over on the left side, again going up quite high, probably close to 30 inches tall. And we got the bamboo sharks over here. We'll swing around, and so you got basically just a taller crevice for the fish, and then this sort of pseudo big cave over here for the bamboos. And I guess they like it because they both wedged themselves in there. And hopefully, you know, the bamboos are 3 feet long now, a little over 3 feet, maybe 36 to 38 inches. So hopefully that is as big as they get. We'll see. They definitely fit with the current scape. Should they grow bigger, I'll have to make adjustments. Hopefully that is not the case, because it's certainly not the easiest tank to rescape. But yeah, I think it's gonna do the job here. Again, the sight breaks, the big caves, and the sort of the deeper crevices for the sharks to sit in, because even though they're not in a cave, as long as they're sort of surrounded by rock on both sides, they get pretty comfortable in there. And the other thing you might notice is that, you know, the rocks are pushed together pretty tight. There are a lot of caves in there, but you also with these big guys, you gotta really fit the rocks in tight. You can't do the stuff where you have a rock just sort of sitting there, or precarious positions. These guys they'll knock it all down. I mean, they're strong. When I was in there working, I mean, it's just brutal. They just see me as the guy who brings food. So I'm in there trying to move rocks, and I got this guy here swimming up my leg, trying to get inside my bathing suit. The eel just is fascinated by me. And the big sharks, they mostly don't do anything, and then all of a sudden they just decide to swim around and swim right into me, and with their razor blade skin, or not sandpaper skin. So yeah, it's definitely a little weird working in there with all that going on. I kind of wish at times the fish were, you know, fearful of me, so I could do my thing without them getting in the way. One interesting thing was I did a pretty good job. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. I actually guesstimated the water right. I didn't add any water, and you see in the sump, the line is pretty much right back to where it was when I started. So my guesstimation as to how much water displacement we would have actually ended up working out. So that is really cool. Let me swim around to the back, see if we can catch that eel. He just moved over. Okay, yeah, he just left the spot over here and came over this way, but he's got this huge complex here. That was one thing that I've been trying to work on for a while, is getting the eel much more territory and everything. And I'd already made some strides towards that. He got a lot more comfortable, because there was a little bit of a time where the sharks were, well, the bamboo sharks were kind of giving him the business a little bit, and that's all chilled out since he's gotten more caves and territory. He's comforted down some. He's eating more and he's growing, so that always helps. But yeah, so this is the Predator Bay Rescape, and let me take you over real quick to the 265. Okay, so 265, I wasn't able to catch the Indo black trigger, so he's still in here. When I basically break down all this rock, I'm going to take all the rock out, put it in my container here, and then catch all the fish that are moving. So the Emperor Angel and all the Chromis are moving over to the 600 reef slope, and the triggerfish is going to Predator Bay, and a couple of these guys, the two tangs and the lemon peel, I believe are going to stay here, because I'm pretty sure this is going to go reef. And let's pop over to 600 real quick. So if it turns out that I do end up putting those tangs and the lemon peel angel over in the 600, I believe it should work out like it did when we brought over the powder blue, even though we have, you know, the white cheek and powder brown over here already. There was, you know, minimal kind of squabbling. Same with the purple tang, the sailfin, just because of the sheer size of the tank. Same thing with the Emperor. I think the Emperor is good size to be transitioned. So the existing full-size angels like the Queen and the Koran and the French, none of them are as big as the Emperor Angel. So I don't think that'll be a problem getting it moved over here. And obviously the Chromis are going to look great, because they're going to be up in this top space, which is, you know, pretty empty most of the time. So that's going to be very, very cool. But so just a little flexibility. So if I get a really good idea for the 265, I will switch it up, and I'll move all those fish over here, because they'll all be fine here. If not, I'll leave part of them there and move some of them here. And then of course the trigger to Predator Bay, and then go ahead and path down the reef. So you know, now's the time. If any, you know, it's one thing I've always said. It's the great thing of making these videos on YouTube is I met a lot of cool people. I correspond with a lot of good fish keepers, and they have good ideas. In fact, one of them, Triple S, he made his ideas, got me down a path on the 3,000 gallon Amazon rebuild, which is pretty crazy. But I think it's going to look pretty cool. But that was his idea. At any rate, there's also a lot of other people who have a lot of great ideas. So the 265 in wall, that's where I'm at. So right now, if nothing changes, it's going to go reef. If not, if a good idea comes up, I'll go with that, and all those fish will come here in the 600. But as you can tell, that was a lot of work with Predator Bay. It always is, getting up in there, moving all that rock over, you know, working around sharks and rays and eels that are more curious than me than afraid, unfortunately, and they just want to get in the way. It was actually kind of funny. They just congregate. Wherever I go, they just congregate. They're like curious, like puppies. It's pretty wild. But at any rate, it's all done, and I'm feeling it. We'll see if it achieves all the goals, but definitely it's better than it was. It's a progression, and yeah, we're just gonna have to have another marine video. I know I don't get enough marine videos out anyway, so it's good to split this into two, because then we can focus on, you know, transferring the other fish and getting the other tank set up. So it'll be its own complete video where we get that tank rolling and get everybody moved, and that'll be cool. Plus it'll be awesome seeing the trigger over here in Predator Bay. That's going to be interesting. It's going to add a lot of movement to the top of the tank. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So that'll be a cool video, and I think it's definitely worthwhile just breaking them up. And so I have been working on the step-by-step DIY video that's coming along, so keep an eye out for that one. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to do something new in this tank. It's actually not going to be 405 gallons because I'm not going to build a sump for it. It's going to be 315 gallons because that was the size without the sump. And the reason there's no sump is because I'm doing a type of filtration that I've been wanting to do for a long time. I've been waiting on the annex to do it, but I'm going to do a smaller version of it in this tank, and that's the wetland filter inside an aquarium. So I'm very stoked for this, and I think it's going to be awesome. It's actually the type of filtration I plan to do on the new big tanks in the annex, and just a little something on the annex. I've been working with the contractors. It's finally starting to move along, and getting pretty excited for that. But when there's some actual construction going on out there, I'll definitely show you guys. You'll get an idea for what kind of monster tanks we're going to be building out there, because it's going to be crazy. All right, thanks for watching. See you guys soon.